Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well. In this video, I'm going to take a quick look here, a very brief mention of Bitcoin here, and also I'm going to take a look, quite a detailed look here at the chart of Ethereum, and also the chart of Solana, and some other crypto charts here. Polygon MATIC, which we haven't looked at before. We'll have a look at it today in this particular video. XRP, brief mention of XRP here today, and then we'll finish by looking at the chart of Cardano. Plus, also, I'll be taking a look at this particular chart and potential wave count on one particular crypto, which I think is quite interesting. All right, guys, join me. Alright guys, welcome back. Before I start, let me just say a huge thank you to you for regularly watching my videos and making this part of your routine. In fact, let me also say I enjoy reading your comments, so thank you very much indeed for posting your comments regularly in my videos. I try my best to respond, but I do really appreciate all the great feedback you give me. I really could not do these videos without your great support, so thank you very much indeed for your comments. Alright guys, let's begin. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about technical analysis and what the purpose of it is in this video too. First of all, quick mention of Bitcoin. You may remember in my member video last week, as Bitcoin was hovering around here, I did mention there's a risk. I did mention there's a probability of seeing more downside in Bitcoin, potentially at the very minimum towards the 100 EMA and potentially even lower levels towards 20K to 19K. Here's the clip and we'll come back. So as long as we stay, as long as Bitcoin stays below 24K, I think this wave 2 could extend. We could see this correction extend lower for a move into this support region that I'm looking at here. 21,500 to potentially the 100 daily moving average. That's the first key support for our correction for the wave 2. If this support region does not hold, then it means we could be setting up for a bit more of a deeper correction. A deeper correction could be in this region here, between 20,400 or 20,374 to potentially 19,200. All right, guys, welcome back. So as I mentioned in the members video last Sunday, I do still think this is a correction. And just yesterday on Friday, we tested a 200 daily moving average there. And let me just go on the chart of Ethereum here. So as I mentioned, I'll be covering the chart of Ethereum, then also Solana, Polygon MATIC, and then XRP, very brief mention of XRP, and then Cardano at the very end, plus also that particular wave count chart I showed to you a few minutes ago. We'll cover that also in this video. As far as Ethereum is concerned, let me just begin by mentioning something quite important here before we even dig into the chart of Ethereum. People often misunderstand the purpose of technical analysis and also the purpose of Elliott waves and Elliott wave theory in general. They think that technical analysis, again, these are people who are not very educated on technical analysis, probably new beginners to analysis and things like that. But as I'm sure you're aware, because I know that you're intelligent and sophisticated people, so you understand that technical analysis is not about prediction and it's not about certainties. In fact, when I put out a poll, in fact, you remember some months ago, I put out a poll and I asked all of you, I asked all our subscribers, what do you think is the purpose of technical analysis? And most of you got the right answer, which was, first of all, it's about possibilities, PO, and then probabilities, in other words, assign the probabilities, and then reducing risk. In other words, risk management. Potpourri, as Del Boy would say.
Potpourri.
So these three factors are the most important points or the most important purposes, in fact, the only purposes of technical analysis in general. Okay, possibilities, probabilities, and risk management. Okay, reducing risk. That's it. It's not about trying to see a crystal ball. Okay, we don't have a crystal ball. We can't see the future. That's all there is to it about technical analysis. First of all, I maintain a bullish perspective on generally Bitcoin and crypto for this year. So despite the big drop and the volatility we're seeing right now on crypto and Bitcoin in general, I still maintain a cautiously bullish perspective on most of the crypto markets, provided the stock market remains above a key level of support. And we'll talk more about that key level of support in tomorrow's members video on Sunday. So there's a very important level on the stock market, on the S&P, which I'm watching, which is absolutely crucial for remaining in an uptrend or indeed in a bull market for stock markets and also crypto charts as well. And we'll go into this tomorrow. First of all, as far as Ethereum is concerned, now what is interesting is that Ethereum has noticed that, first of all, we've had a nice 5-wave move to the upside, which I think is quite nice. And indeed, from an Elliott wave perspective, I really like this chart. Nice 5-wave move to the upside. And I think what's been happening here on the chart of Ethereum here is we've now seen a correction, a corrective retrace to this support level. Notice that we are now testing this important support level here based on this correction, this corrective drop. And by the way, I still maintain a bullish and optimistic picture, an outlook for Ethereum for this year in 2023, as long as it stays above support. I'll talk to you about support and which key level there is here on Ethereum in a few minutes. But notice we've come back here. We're now testing the support level here. Again, several support levels here. 200 daily moving average here, as you can see on Ethereum. This trend line support, notice this yellow line. So we're now testing this trend line support as well. And also, as you can see here, apart from that, we've now tested also the 50% retracement, of the major rally. There's a lot of support right about here, and currently Ethereum is testing and just hugging that critical trend line support near the 200 EMA. And if you just take a look, by the way, this is a logarithmic chart. If I do a standard non-logarithmic, this is the non-logarithmic chart, you will see very similar, actually very interesting situation here on Ethereum, where it just held that trend line support, that dashed yellow line there. But again, I prefer to use the logarithmic chart generally when I'm looking at the charts of crypto. So I still see this drop in the price of Ethereum as a correction before we see likely higher levels in the chart of Ethereum, as long as it stays above this support level here, which is about 1291 or 1290. By the way, let me just mention that on the lower time frame chart, if we go on to a 21-minute chart, this is a 21-minute chart. Now, the reason I'm looking at this particular chart is notice that we're seeing a lot of divergences. So as Ethereum was dropping on Friday, look at this, as it made a lower low, we made a higher low on the MACD on the 21-minute chart time frame. Okay, now we'll see if that holds. We'll see if this divergence for the moment holds. But I like to see these kind of divergences in the lower time frames as price is dropping into key support levels. So that's a good sign, it's a positive sign. So as far as the daily chart is concerned, yeah, I do think that Ethereum is now making a nice corrective pullback, a retracement into support levels, which is normal in any uptrend. And I think as long as it protects, as long as Ethereum protects this support level, it needs to stay above 1290 to maintain a bullish picture and also a bullish outlook for the remainder of this year. So as long as Ethereum can stay above 1290, and provided Ethereum can get above these important levels of resistance, so let me just show it to you. There are two levels of resistance here on the chart. 1499, in other words 1500, the highs of today. So the highs of today just near 1499 or 1500, and 1546. Okay. In other words, if Ethereum can get above these two levels, 1500 to 1546 in the coming days and weeks, that would increase the probability that this pullback, this drop here has now bottomed, and we're getting ready for the next stage of the rally towards much higher levels, towards potentially the 1984, well, above the highs of February, and potentially above towards the 1984 to 2000 levels on Ethereum, and potentially even higher. So I would, first of all, in other words, what I'm saying is, for Ethereum to prove to us that this drop, this pullback is a corrective structure, is a correction before we see higher levels, two things must happen. And I'm sorry for repeating this point, but it's very important. So firstly, Ethereum must protect this support that I just mentioned at 1290. Okay, it needs to stay above that. That's a very critical support structure, because below this level, if Ethereum falls below this, that could actually change the picture from bullish to bearish. So I would really need Ethereum to protect this support at near 1290 region here, or stay above it as much as possible, because a sustained break of this support would lower the probability of the bullish picture or the bullish outlook. It could potentially increase risk to the downside if that level at 1290 gets broken. But for now, as long as we stay above that level, I maintain a cautiously bullish outlook on Ethereum. And also, as I mentioned earlier, just to repeat this point one more time, yeah, I still also need confirmation. Confirmation is important. I would need to see confirmation that this drop here, this pullback has bottomed, by getting a move and a close above 1500 to 1546. Once we get a move above these two levels here on the chart, okay, then we could have an increased probability that this structure is now bottomed, this pullback is bottomed, and we're starting the next major wave towards the 2000 levels. Okay, that's what I have here on the chart of Ethereum. Quickly, the chart of Solana. Now, I have to tell you, out of all the crypto charts I've looked at, apart from Ethereum and Bitcoin, the one that strikes me as one of the better charts out there, as a clean, much higher probability structure, is the chart of Solana. Let me also mention, by the way, guys, that this video is not a recommendation. It's by no means a recommendation to buy or sell any crypto or altcoin whatsoever. It's just purely for educational purposes. I'm just letting you know what I think is likely or probable based on the technicals and what I'm seeing here on the charts. So as far as Solana is concerned, what I like about it is, first of all, let me show you this. As Solana was dropping, this is a daily chart, by the way, I'm looking at here in Solana. Notice this major drop here in the price of Solana here, right here back between, yeah, as you can see here. This is in the winter of last year, between November to December of last year. Notice, made a lower low and then made a higher low on the MACD. Nice positive divergence on the MACD and then a breakout above resistance. Resistance was about here at just under $15 there, okay? So what does that mean? It means that $15 level is now key support, a very important support level. I do like this chart here, the fact that it had divergences before a major rally. Now, if we look also over here, okay, so notice where support is located now. Support on Solana at the moment is located between $15, in other words, the highs of November, December here, just near 1494, and the 61.8% retracement of this prior rally, okay? That's about 12.65, okay? So as long as Solana can remain, provided Solana can remain above these two support levels here between 15 to 12.7 here, I maintain a bullish perspective here on Solana as well. In fact, I think this particular drop we've seen on Solana recently, I think this was a likely correction. So as you can see here, in my view, this is a 5-wave rally we've seen on Solana here, a nice 5-wave rally to the upside. And now this was a likely A wave, B wave, as we know, B waves can be bull traps, and then C wave of this corrective structure. So in other words, I'm seeing the drop we've seen in Solana in the last several weeks to January. I'm seeing this as a corrective ABC structure. Okay, likely A, B, and the likely C wave. By the way, I don't know yet that the C wave of this structure, of this correction, has bottomed. We don't have a confirmation yet. I mean, the C wave could extend lower, potentially even to these levels. Okay, just letting you know from a risk perspective, from the potential of risk, we don't know yet that the C wave of this correction has bottomed just yet. It may extend to this region that I mentioned between 15 to 12.7. Okay, but at the moment, nevertheless, I'm seeing this drop as a likely C wave. All we're waiting for is a confirmation that this C wave of this correction is going to bottom. So I think that if Solana here, if Solana can give us a nice push above this level of resistance is about this level here, 21.7, okay, this nice pivot level here, just above the 100 EMA on the daily chart. So if we can actually remain, so let me just repeat this point, if Solana can remain above two important levels of support, the most important one being here at 12.65, 12.7, 12.65. If Solana can protect that level and stay above that at all costs, okay, so if Solana can remain above this support structure at 12.7, 12.65, and also we see a rally, a nice push above this level you're seeing here at 21.7, then that would give a confirmation that this C wave of this correction here has likely bottomed and that we're likely to see much higher levels in Solana. So in other words, all I'm waiting for at the moment here is for Solana. By the way, notice something else here. This correction, which I think is what it is here on the chart of Solana, this nice ABC structure on Solana has now reached the 38.2% retracement of this prior rally. There it is, Fibonacci level, 38.2, and the 1618 extension. That's the blue line you see on my chart. That's the 1618 golden ratio extension of this likely A wave from the top of the B wave, which gave us right that blue line. Okay. Now, as I mentioned before, at the moment it's a bit early. It is too early at the moment to say that this correction has bottomed out because there's still risk of more downside as long as we're below. In other words, as long as Solana stays below 21.69 or 21.7, there is still risk that it may test the next key support levels here at 15 to potentially even 12.7. But what I'm saying is, as long as Solana, provided Solana can stay above, at the minimum, stay above 12.65 or 12.7, and then get above this important resistance region here as well. So it must get above this region as well, at 21.7. Then we can have a much higher probability and a confirmation that this likely correction here has bottomed here on Solana, and that we could see the start of the next major wave, the next major rally to the upside, likely taking us towards the 40 region, well above the prior highs of February, and towards 38 to 40 region, and potentially even higher levels, likely in the coming months, okay? Based on a probabilities structure and perspective here, okay? And then I'm going to go to the chart of MATIC here, Polygon MATIC. So what I'm showing to you here with this wave count is not what I think is certain, but what I think is probable, which is that I think Polygon MATIC, by the way, out of the cryptos out there, other than Solana and Ethereum, this to me has a very clean structure. And I'm going back as far back on this chart here. I think it's 2020 and 2019 lows here as we made here. So to me, this was a likely wave one. Let me just draw it for you. Likely wave one, wave two, which was an ABC structure for Polygon MATIC, and then a nice wave three rally, which took us to 2021. And then from there, we had a wave four correction, wave four pullback, as you can see here, a relatively deep wave four retracement, which, by the way, was also composed of ABC, as you can see here in the yellow, ABC. And in my view, since the lows we made in 2022, we're now likely in a wave five, in the wave five structure, potentially leading to all-time highs in Polygon MATIC, perhaps even towards the 5, maybe even higher levels on Polygon MATIC in the wave 5. By the way, that's only if Polygon MATIC stays above this important critical support, which is 0.75 or 75 cents. So what I'm saying is, for me, this particular wave count carries a higher probability. This bullish wave count carries for me a higher probability as long as price remains above this key support, 0.75 or 75 cents. Also, the stock market must stay above its support region as well. But as far as this chart is concerned, as far as Polygon MATIC is concerned, I think Polygon MATIC must protect, at a minimum, this support that you're seeing here at 75 cents or 0.75. Also, I would like it to protect this region here as well, from 95 cents to 75 cents, this region here. I would like it to stay above this level. For us to remain in a bullish picture and a potentially bullish outlook, positive outlook for 2023. Okay, now am I saying this is certain? No, because here's the thing. If Polygon MATIC were to take out these levels, if Polygon MATIC were to take out 95 cents, and importantly, if it falls below 0.75, now let me just say, I'm not expecting this. I don't think it's likely, because I think the general chart structure is rather quite bullish for this particular crypto here. But I think if the price were to drop below the support of 75 cents, which again, I'm not expecting, but if it does, then I would have to change my mind. In other words, a drop, a sustained move below 75 cents would mean this particular wave count that I just showed you is probably wrong. Okay, so in other words, if Polygon MATIC falls below 75 cents, then no, risk would increase significantly to the downside, and we could see much lower levels, potentially even below the lows we made in 2022, if the 75 cents level were breached. So in other words, Polygon MATIC here must protect the support level of 75 cents if bulls are going to remain in control for the remainder part of this year. And if we're going to see a continuation of the uptrend, all I'm saying is if this level were to break, if 75 cents were to break, which again, I'm not expecting, I think it's a lower probability, but if it does, then I would have to change my mind. It means my bullish perspective is likely wrong, and that means we could see significantly lower levels here on the chart, on this particular chart of Polygon MATIC. As far as the chart on the daily time frame is concerned, let me just show you the lower time frame first. Notice that Polygon MATIC was dropping into some key support region here. Notice that it dropped to the 200 daily moving average here, bounced from that level, as you can see, bounced from the 200 daily moving average and the prior highs of December. Nice support level there. So we had prior highs of December we tested and the lows we made in January. Notice that several support structures being tested as we speak, bounced from that level, and I believe that was also the 61.8% retracement. The golden ratio, 61.8% retracement, the red line on my chart at about 99 cents approximately there on Polygon MATIC, and we're holding this level so far. Let me also show you the 21-minute chart as well. Okay, so the 21-minute chart, as I noticed that on this chart, similar to the other crypto charts I showed to you, lower low, but a nice, a little bit of a higher low, bit of a divergence there. Not great divergence, but nonetheless, it's not bad. But again, as I mentioned before, let's see if that level holds. It's a bit early at this moment. So what I'm saying is, even though I remain cautiously bullish and optimistic here for Polygon MATIC, as with some of the other crypto charts I just showed you, nevertheless, I would like it at the moment to ideally protect this level at 95 cents okay? But if it cannot remain above this level, it must try at least to remain above 88 cents, and of course, as more, very important, as 75 cents. From 75 cents, the key support region here, that red line below us. But let me just say that I ideally would like to see this region being protected on Polygon MATIC between 95 cents to 87 cents, okay, 0.87 to 0.95. Because below those levels, then risk would increase quite significantly to the downside. So let's see if Polygon MATIC can protect those levels, stay above that. And also, I want to see confirmation, as I mentioned earlier, I want to see confirmation by seeing this level break. If this key resistance level here breaks in the coming days and weeks at 1.17, that would give an extra degree of confirmation that this correction here, this pullback, this correction retracement on Polygon MATIC has now bottomed out, and we could see potentially higher levels above the highs of February. Okay, so that's the thing I'm waiting for at the moment here. But overall, nice chart picture. XRP. So as far as XRP is concerned, first of all, I know I get a lot of requests for mentioning XRP, but I have to be honest with you guys. This chart of XRP is an absolute mess. Okay, so I don't like XRP from a chart perspective. It just looks completely messy from a daily or a weekly chart perspective. I don't like it personally. Okay, there's nothing that I can see as a higher probability. One thing I would say though, that looks rather, shall we say, positive, is that it seems we've had a 5-wave rally to the upside with a corrective structure here so far. But I want to see some confirmation first. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, on XRP. I'm sorry. I apologize. But one thing I have to tell you is, again, as I said before, this chart is an absolute mess. It's not as clean. So one thing I look for when I look at charts is a nice, clean structure. We do have clean structures with the charts, for example, of Solana, Polygon MATIC, and I would say Cardano, which we'll have a look at in a few minutes. But XRP is just an absolute mess. I would have to wait and see if we get a close above this level, 0.43, before I can even consider looking at it, or before I can even consider it from a chart technical perspective. Okay, but as long as it stays below that 0.43 here, I'm not going to spend any time on it at the moment here because the risk still remains here for XRP. Let's just wait and see if XRP can get above those trendline resistance levels. So notice these trendline resistances on the chart of XRP. If XRP can get above the trend line and resistance at 43 cents, then that may potentially improve the outlook for XRP, potentially may increase the probability of bulls are getting back in control. But for now, as long as we remain below that resistance of 43 cents, again, for now, I'm going to put that aside. Let's see what happens in the coming weeks. As far as Cardano is concerned, yeah, Cardano, I do quite like it from a chart perspective, from a technical perspective, and I'll show you why. Let me just zoom in here on this chart. So let me just zoom in here. Okay, so it looks like we've had a nice 5-wave rally, okay, very strong rally as we can see here, and to me this appears to be a corrective pullback. I think this is a likely ABC pullback on Cardano, potential A wave, B wave, a bull trap, often B waves can often be bull traps, and then a C wave drop. So that to me is what it looks like, A, B, C, of a corrective structure. By the way, the C wave may extend lower. Okay, so I'm not saying the C wave is bottomed just yet, but I think once Cardano here can show to us a nice rally, a nice push above this resistance here at this white line at 0.343, then the odds could increase that a bottom has been made on this C wave of this corrective structure. Okay, so I'm still looking for higher levels in Cardano. I'm remaining optimistic and bullish on Cardano for the remainder of this year, provided Cardano can protect these two support levels. First of all, I'd like it to stay above this support here, 0.295. So ideally, I would like it to stay above this support. That region, this red line, is a 61.8% golden ratio retracement of this prior rally. We have a 2.618 extension here as well, and of course the lows we made in the winter of last year, as you can see there. Now, if Cardano cannot stay above this support, the next important support, I would say my line in the sand, the lowest I can accept for Cardano would be here, 0.272 or 0.27. Yeah. So ideally, Cardano must protect these two support regions here between 0.295 to 0.27. If Cardano can protect and stay above these support levels and then get something going, if it gets a nice rally and a close above this white line at 0.343 here, this level that you're seeing here, then I can say the probability is increased that this retracement or pullback here in Cardano, this correction has bottomed, and we could see higher levels. That has not happened yet. Okay, so let's just be patient. Let's wait and see what Cardano does here. As long as Cardano stays below 0.343, it still remains at risk. Okay, in other words, the risk of a lower low on this recent movement here is what I'm saying. Okay, but if Cardano, again, I'm sorry to repeat this point, but if Cardano can stay above the support region here of 0.27 to 0.295 and get something going, get a nice rally above 0.343, then the odds could increase that a likely bottom has been made on this recent correction, this recent drop, and that we potentially could start the next major stage of the rally to higher levels. Okay, but again, let's just wait and see what happens here for now. We don't have confirmation just yet. But overall, I still think that the chart picture on Cardano looks rather bullish here overall for the longer term. And also on the 21-minute chart, I think we saw some divergences. If I'm not mistaken here, we made a lower low. Yep. 21-minute time frame, we made a lower low here with a higher low on the MACD. Let's wait and see. However, one thing we don't have, as I mentioned earlier, the one thing we don't have is confirmation. So let's wait and see if Cardano can get confirmation also signaled by a move and a close above 0.343. If that happens as well in the next coming days and weeks, that actually could increase the probability Cardano has bottomed and that we could see a potential continuation of the rally towards higher levels, likely above the 0.5 region, potentially towards 0.6 to 0.68 levels, once we get a confirmation that the bottom has been made here on the chart structure of Cardano. Okay, that's what we have here on the charts. And also join me in tomorrow's Sunday members video as I shall go into chart of Bitcoin, stock markets, and gold in more detail. All right, guys, thank you very much indeed. I look forward to seeing the next video update. Bye for now.